Is calling 2022 CR 10960, State of Texas versus Norma Vasquez Ledesma. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Jorgens for the state.
Defense.
Charles Sierra for Ms. Vasquez.
And are you Ms. Vasquez Ledesma? Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, I have you.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Ledesma, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it? Next, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We're not amending the indictment, Your Honor, but we do have an agreement to plead to the lesser included offense of driving while intoxicated first.
All right. Ms. Ledesma, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of driving while intoxicated first as a Class B misdemeanor? The range of punishment is up to 180 days in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Ledesma, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of driving while intoxicated as the first offense. Punishment is to be assessed at 180 days in the Bexar County Jail. There's a $2,000 fine, no application for deferred adjudication. State recommends community supervision, and there's to be restitution for laboratory testing. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Have there been any such motions?
Yes. Your Honor.
No, have there been any motions
Any motions?
that have been filed,
No.
heard, and ruled upon by the court? You need to say yes or no so the court reporter can hear.
Said no.
All right.
I
Next.
misunderstood you. I apologize, Your Honor.
No problem. Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 72 hours in the Bexar County Jail, 100 hours of community service restitution, DWI education, DWI victim impact panel, ignition interlock for half the term, 2 years driver's license suspension, parenting course, scram ankle monitor for 60 days, and regular UAs. Did you understand? Those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations. Then to the offense of DWI first, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. The state offers Exhibit 1, the defendant's waivers and stipulation of evidence.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and considered the stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing? Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
With respect to the recommendations by the DA with the 2-year license suspension, my client cleans houses for a living. He needs to be able to drive, and does take children to school, children in school activities and so forth. So I'm asking the court for some leniency on the.
Oh, no, her license is going to be suspended. Did you read this police report?
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, do you want a jury trial? Because let me just tell you what I read in this police report.
I know. I've read
No,
it.
let me tell you what it is, because I don't think you have internalized what's in this police report. So you had your children with you, and according to this, you were pulled over because you were driving against traffic. So that means that you were driving improperly. You were going against traffic, which means other people could have been injured. In the vehicle, you had an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. And it says, when I arrived on location, AP, that's you, was standing on the sidewalk, unhandcuffed. I had her walk to the front of my patrol car. She said she did not know why she was stopped, but supposedly she was going against traffic. AP then admitted to consuming 2 drinks at Ingram Park Mall at a bar, but did not know the name of the bar. She started drinking at 8 p.m. and stopped at 9 p.m. AP later denied consuming any alcohol and also denied that she first admitted to consuming alcohol. She did not know what time it was. She said she was not driving. She was shopping. Last date at 3 p.m. And is not under a doctor's care and has no prescribed medications. During the interview, she said she needed to use the bathroom. So I advised her that I would have a female officer to make the location, and she walked away to a tree and started to urinate. After she finished urinating, I completed the interview. She had bloodshot, glassy eyes, slurred speech, and was unsteady on her feet. The odor of alcohol was also getting stronger as she kept talking. They did the HGN, you failed the HGN. So I am not sympathetic to her with the driver's license suspension. Her license is going to be suspended. Do you realize you could have killed your children and other
I
people?
realize, yes.
But do you understand that?
I haven't drank since. Yes, I very understand
When's the last time you had alcohol?
that day.
All right, when you drug tested today, what are the results going to be for everything?
Forever.
All right. Probation, I'm going to want a drug test on Miss Ledesma. And I'm going to also want it for alcohol if you're able to do it for alcohol as well. Are you employed? You're cleaning houses?
Yes.
All right. And how often do you do that?
Almost every day.
Do you work with the company or no?
No, on my side.
So how are you paid?
Oh, I fight with my customers.
I mean, is it paid by check, cash?
Oh, yeah, Zelle, cash sometimes.
Okay.
She works for an attorney friend of mine. That's how I'm representing.
Okay.
Work for-
All right. You're whispering so the court reporter can't hear.
Say, she does work for various people and she gets paid cash or check. And she cleans houses for other attorneys that I know that I got involved.
Were you able to hear him? Okay. All right, the court is finding you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to 180 days in the Bexar County Jail, suspended and probated for 2 years. There's a $2,000 fine that will be probated. Do you know the restitution amount for the labs?
It's usually $60, Judge. I'm not sure if it is in this case.
All right, restitution for lab testing, if any. I'm going to want a TAP evaluation. Follow recommendations of TAP. If they say outpatient treatment, then I'm going to want intensive outpatient treatment. I'm going to want 90 sober meetings in 90 days. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors. There is to be no employment where you're working at any establishment whose primary source of income there is serving alcohol beverages. Do you understand? 100 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. Court was not requiring you to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. I'm going to want parenting classes. The remaining of the hours will be waived with parenting classes. DWI education course, DWI victim impact panel. With regards to the ignition interlock, you're asking for ignition interlock in the SCRAM device?
The scram, we're only asking for the first 60 days, Judge, but yes.
All right, I don't understand SCRAM and ignition interlock.
Scram, we want to get her started off on the right foot. That's why we're only requesting it within the first 60 days. Ignition interlock, we're requesting for half the term of probation, which would obviously be longer than that. So we want to keep her monitoring, and I believe it may be required by statute.
No, I mean, the ignition interlock, yes, but I mean, ignition interlock in SCRAM is going to be very expensive.
That's good, please.
You're going to have ignition interlock on every vehicle that you have access to. And when I say have access to, if it's parked at your house, if it's owned by your husband or whoever lives at your home, ignition interlock is going to be on there. And that's going to be ignition interlock for the full term. 2-year Texas driver's license suspension. And I'm gonna want regular UAs, field visits, 1 time per month. And please tell probation, check her home for alcoholic beverages. When you're on probation, you're not allowed to drink alcohol at all, even in your own home. You understand? And there's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Probation, is there anything else? Anything else you need from the court? Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? Good luck to you. We can go off the record. Here's the thing. I haven't done any statistics. My statistics professor would be very upset with me for this. But what I've learned is people who drive intoxicated, if there's an accident, you know who ends up dying? Passengers in the vehicle, other people who are just going about their business. Probably your children could have been killed that day. And then if they would have been killed that day, you would be in court boo-hooing and crying about my children are dead. So, yes. So you shouldn't have started. All right, probation will go over conditions with you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes.